Hi guys, welcome to my channel where we make art and friends. In this video, I'm going to cover hopefully most of your questions about Patternbank, how to apply, what kind of work they accept, how much do they pay, what's licensing, and how does it all work. But before we jump in, my name is Elena. I'm an artist and surface pattern designer. I upload videos here about the business of selling art. So if you find this sort of thing interesting, make sure you stick around. And if you have any specific questions for me, drop them in the comments. Patternbank is kind of similar to stock image sites in a sense that it operates on a royalty-based principle. You upload a design and make it available for sale, and when someone buys it, you get a cut of that profit. What's unique about it, however, is its niche dedication to surface pattern design and textile prints, rather than general stock images and illustrations. Patternbank audience is mainly small and medium-sized brands and product manufacturers designing clothing, home decor products, children's wear, stationery, and lots of other products. It's a cost-effective way for them to gain access to fresh, trendy designs without having to hire a full-time in-house designer or pay fees for design agencies. Another great feature of Patternbank is their trend reports, which are fantastic. You used to have to pay for them until they changed their business model and made them available for free, and you don't have to be a seller to take advantage of them. Patternbank creates these trend reports through a mix of industry research, data analysis, visual forecasting, and expert insight, specifically tailored to the fashion and surface design industry. They are not just a source of inspiration, they're actually very practical guides. They include things like print direction tips, color schemes, and relevant pattern types that are trending. So I highly recommend keeping an eye on them regardless of whether you're selling on Patternbank or not. When someone buys a design from you, legally speaking, what they're buying is your permission to apply your artwork onto products for commercial purposes. This is known as licensing. And here I have to mention the big daddy of this whole game, and that's your copyright. As an artist, you own the intellectual property or copyright to each of your designs for life, and no one is allowed to use your artwork without your permission. Licensing is basically how those who buy your designs can get that permission from you. There's an entire section of law dedicated to this, and there are lawyers who spend their entire careers specializing in this subject, and it can be quite complicated. Luckily, on Patternbank, it's really quite simple. There are only 3 types of licenses: personal, commercial, and premium. You can expect to pay between $50 to $350 per design, depending on the type of license, and the artist gets half of that. Personal and commercial licenses are non-exclusive. They cost less, and you can sell those designs multiple times. A premium license is exclusive. Those designs are the most expensive, and once you have sold it, you essentially give the copyright away to your client, and you cannot sell that exact design anywhere else. This is known as a full buyout. When you've sold one of your premium designs on Patternbank, you can expect half of $350, which is $175, which might seem like a lot of money, but a company can be selling tens of thousands of products with your design on them in several different countries over several years. You can imagine how much money that is. So the $150 compared to that is change. Professional design agencies know this and can negotiate appropriate fees in the contract with their client. So you can see why Patternbank is actually a very cost-effective strategy for manufacturers, where they can get a full buyout of a commercially successful design for only $350. That's why, as designers, we always try to hold on to our copyright. Your intellectual property is your everything. This is something you can pass down to your children. So if at all possible, I would avoid offering a full buyout. Obviously, on Patternbank, we don't have an option to negotiate this. If you are just beginning in the industry, of course, feel free to upload and sell exclusive designs. But when it comes to actual clients, I know several artists who lacked the confidence to negotiate when a company offered them a full buyout. They sold their IP only to face regret when they saw how commercially successful their designs were, and there was nothing they could do. Now let's talk about how to apply and get accepted on Patternbank. What kind of designs do they prefer? By the way, a shout out to Marwan1766 for this question. They want to know if Patternbank prefers real life art on their designs or digital, which I'll answer in a minute. When you register with Patternbank, they will send you an email with an invitation to apply to sell on there. All it is a form for you to fill out. But do take it seriously, because if you get rejected, you cannot reapply again using the same account. All I can say is use this opportunity to present your best work. If you've never sold a single pattern in your life, Patternbank should probably not be your first port of call. You should apply to Patternbank when you've already started to sell some of your designs on other platforms. Perhaps Spoonflower, Creative Market, Adobe Stock, and similar are more beginner-friendly platforms. It doesn't need to be a lot of sales, just a few little bites here and there. But those initial sales will give you the confidence in commercial viability of your designs. So by the time you are applying to Patternbank, you genuinely believe in yourself as a professional designer, and you have a body of work to show for it. You definitely should have somewhere online where you can display your portfolio, and your own personal website is probably the best place for this. But don't worry if you don't have one. There are some free platforms online which are really great for that purpose. Behance is one of them. I recommend using a few mock-ups in your portfolio as well. Mock-ups are a great way to illustrate what your work looks like in the real world. It really makes your portfolio stand out and shows that you've been thinking about what products your work looks good on. There are some places online where you can find some free mock-ups, but I really recommend you just invest and buy a couple of good mock-ups, because it will save you so much time and just makes your life so much easier. It's also definitely worth having some presence on Instagram. Just make sure it's not a personal account. It needs to be an account dedicated to your work, where you regularly share your process and show examples of your work. Be prepared to write a short bio about yourself. Just a little something about how you came to do what you do, what inspires you the most, and why. When you're ready with all of this, you can put it all into that application form, send it off back to Patternbank, and wait. Hopefully they'll come back with a yes, and you'll be selling happily ever after. So to answer Mar11766's question about what sort of patterns work best on Patternbank, whether it's real world artworks or digital, the answer is if it looks good in a pattern, send both. Send everything. The more, the better. If you have a quick look at what's available on Patternbank, you can see that some of the patterns are made digitally as vectors. Others are clearly hand-drawn with all kinds of art mediums. These days, we also have Procreate, which actually mimics a whole range of real-life art mediums digitally. Or you can experiment, do both. As long as your repeat is successful and you can envision your print on a product, upload it. I wish you best of luck. Come and tag me on Instagram. I would love to see what kind of art you guys are making. Press all the good buttons here, and I'll see you next time.